The title of today's story is Three Princesses, so let's start the story. Once upon a time in the beautiful kingdom of Alaria, there lived a king with his three daughters, Alara, Leela, and Maya. You might be thinking that these three princesses were always ready to protect the kingdom and help the king, but they had no interest in all these things. They were more interested in thrill and excitement than these. They often found themselves craving adventure and excitement. One day, as they were discussing their desires, Alara said, "Help! Where is my brave warrior who saved me? Where is my knight in shining armor?" His sisters, Leela and Maya, were laughing at her drama. They all knew it was time for change, but none of them realized how soon it would come. That evening, the king called his daughters to his chamber. He was very concerned about their future and the welfare of the kingdom. "Daughters," he began, "this is the ancient book of our ancestors. I want you to open it." With curiosity and respect, Alara opened the book. "Father, this book talks about the three qualities of a true ruler: sense of direction, vision, and empathy," she said, her eyes wide in surprise. Feeling the weight of responsibility, Leela said, "The person who will rule this kingdom must also be brave." "Let's invite all the neighboring princes and have a competition, Dad," Maya suggested, her mind racing with possibilities. "The warrior who is the best among them will be able to rule this kingdom." The king nodded in agreement. He said with a gentle smile, "It's a wonderful idea. But the prince will not come here. You three will go out of the kingdom in search of the true ruler. Now the time has come for you three to set out on a journey to find the true ruler of this kingdom. My daughters have to do this for me." In the morning, the princesses set out on their mission, each choosing a different path to find the true ruler, perhaps a prince, and bring him back to their father. They believed that the final decision would be that of the king. As Alara traveled through the mistwood forest, she encountered a labyrinth with a magical fairy standing in front of it. The fairy said to her, "Hello, princess. Are you looking for something?" "I seek the one true ruler," Alara replied confidently. "If you are looking for a true ruler, you will find him at the end of this labyrinth," advised the fairy. "Listen carefully, princess. Remember where you came from and think about your next step. This will help you find the right direction." Heeding the fairy's words, Alara carefully entered the labyrinth and moved forward slowly. She knew that by keeping the direction in mind, she would reach her destination. And keeping the direction in mind, she finally reached the middle. There she again met the fairy, who said to her, "Very well, princess. You have found the way by paying attention to the direction. Now you immediately go back to the palace. Your true ruler is waiting for you." The fairy gave a box to Alara as a gift. With new determination, she quickly left for the palace. Meanwhile, Leela reached a forest where many animals were standing on the bank of a ditch, wanting to cross to the green fields on the other side. Seeing Leela, the fairy appeared there and asked, "Are you lost, princess?" Leela replied, "No, I am wandering in the forest in search of the rightful ruler, but first I have to transport these animals across the ditch." The fairy replied, "Don't worry, the animals have a special sight. It's a magical forest, and you can build a bridge with the power of your mind. But you have to concentrate on the bridge," the fairy continued. "But be careful, if you lose focus, the bridge will collapse." Leela started concentrating immediately. She could think of a simple bridge to cross, but she was concerned about the animals who wanted to reach the green field. She thought about a grand bridge, but it was difficult to concentrate on. Ultimately, the bridge is completed and Leela successfully leads the animals to the other side. "Well done. With a little focus and clear vision, anyone can achieve anything," the fairy praised her and also gave her a box as a gift. The bridge built by Leela remained a symbol of her foresight. The fairy advised her to return to the palace as the true ruler was waiting for her there. Leela immediately returned to the palace. Maya, on the other hand, found herself in a small village in the forest. The villagers were unfamiliar with her, living happily with whatever they had. Maya asked in surprise, "What are you talking about? How are you so happy even though you don't have anything?" "Forgive me, princess, but you are wrong," said a village woman. "I have my husband and son, fresh air, sunlight, clean water, and fresh vegetables to eat. What more do we need?" "This isn't living. You don't have servants," argued Maya. "Actually, we don't need it and we don't need them either. We live happily in this big forest," the villager replied calmly. Maya realized how wrong her perception of the house was. Home is where family is, where people are happy and content, not wealth and comfort. She started feeling better and started remembering her father and sisters. She was happy to have them in her life. But to connect the states, the king is making roads by breaking the forests, said the village woman. I won't let that happen, Maya decided. Just as the palace is my home, it is their home. I will return to the palace immediately and stop the forest from being destroyed. We will find another way to unite the kingdoms. Just then the fairy appeared there and said to Leela, You have shown true sympathy for these villagers. The fairy gave her a gift box as a token of appreciation. Maya quickly returned to the palace, her search for a true ruler forgotten. It so happened that all three sisters reached the palace together and shared their experiences. As they entered the palace gates, their gift boxes transformed into magical objects. A wand for Alara, a crystal ball for Leela, and a heart-shaped amulet for Maya. What is this? They said together in surprise. Greetings, princesses, a voice echoed. You have completed the legacy. This was a magical fairy. The king appeared before them and said, My daughters, you have completed the inheritance. For years this kingdom has been waiting for three sisters who will rule together. You have three qualities: direction, vision, and empathy. This kingdom has been waiting for you to take your rightful place. The king further said, I was only a caretaker of this kingdom. Daughters, you set out in search of the true ruler and ultimately discovered that it was you. The sisters were taken to a grand hall and the royal throne. As soon as he took up his position, the palace and kingdom were pleased with his new qualities. Using their new powers, the sisters ruled the kingdom better than ever before. And so the kingdom of Valeria flourished under the leadership of the queens of Valeria, and they lived happily ever after.